Hello, welcome to my lovely garden that I've just built from scratch. I'll give you a little tour of that later on, but would you believe it's been 3 years since I left the Outer Hebrides, got myself a new job, got another motorbike and went on a date with a work colleague from Belgium. So I think it's about time for an update, also to let you know where the channel is going now and where it's going in the future. So I basically had 3 years where I wasn't really feeling it, and I had a bit of a break. I was doing some videos, but I had a bit of a break, and I'm pleased to say that after those 3 years, the creative urge has returned. It's come back, and now I'm pretty fired up to make a bit more content for you. So now I've always strived for a simple, uncomplicated life, and I continue to do that. And I want to still just make videos about the things that bring me joy. One of those things that brings me joy is my job. And the good news is at work, I've even been approached to consider becoming a media ambassador. So that's all in the pipeline. So that would be really good if that happens. Now, as many of you will know, I sold my caravan last year because I just wasn't using it enough. But I did miss getting away, and I bought myself a tent. You might have seen my video about camping at Norman's Bay. And Van Gogh, the people who I bought 2 tents from, also saw that video. And now I'm working with Van Gogh, and they've sent me some equipment to try, because where I want to go with this is for people like myself who maybe can't justify having a caravan, but still we're not into all the roughy tufty hardship. We want to camp in comfort. So camping in comfort as an alternative to caravanning, that's something I'm looking forward to exploring. But you know, so keeping things simple but comfortable. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing. I've still got my lovely Kia EV6 after 4 years. No intention of changing that. Yes, I had the issue with the ICU, which is a known issue last year. But other than that, it's been absolutely brilliant. And again, I'm looking forward to exploring how to best use an EV while you're camping. So that's again something else I'm looking forward to exploring. Things are going very, very well with my lovely partner in Belgium, and as well as the motorbike I bought 3 years ago, I've now got my dream motorbike, which is a 2023 Triumph Thruxton RS Chrome. And I kind of combine those two, and I take the motorbike to Belgium, and quite often I go by ferry. I still love ferries, I love ferry travel, so I'm also hoping to combine those two, and I've started shooting an update to the ferry comparison video as well. I'm looking forward to sharing some videos about ferries as well as what I do for a living. Now, as I film this in August 2026, I can confidently say that I've got absolutely no intention at all of going to Caravan Salon Dusseldorf this year. In fact, I don't have any intention of doing any caravan, motorhome or campervan videos in the foreseeable future. I just find it's far too much hard work to try and remain relevant in that industry. The constant ghosting, being ignored, having to beg manufacturers to feature their products that's ultimately gonna benefit their sales. So I'm afraid at the moment, definitely no Dusseldorf. Might still go to the NEC just to, you know, see, because I'm still interested. I still want to see what's going on. But yeah, the effort in going to Dusseldorf for the return is just not going to happen. I thought the other day, you know, why am I doing this? Would it bring me joy? And the answer is no. Going to Dusseldorf would not bring me joy. Sacrificing time off work, time with my partner and time with my dogs, no. What would bring me joy? It would be to spend that time here at home with my dogs in my beautiful garden. And with that, let me give you a tour of my garden. Right, so before we crack on with the tour of the garden, here's a little reminder of what I started with. Just a new build with grass and a shed that was too small for anything. And this is a view of the progress. And here we are, the finished result now. So it is August 2026. We're struggling a bit, as everyone is in the southeast of England, with lack of rain and so much heat. But yeah, I'm really pleased. I was hoping to go for a coastal theme, and I've kind of gone for a coastal theme, but the trouble is I love cottage gardens, so I suppose, to use a modern phrase, this is a fusion of coastal garden and cottage garden. If you watched my sort of big reveal, you know I was unhappy with the patio, and I said I was going to have it relaid, and I've decided that actually the cheapest and lowest maintenance way of dealing with it is just to deal with it. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm just gonna live with it. I've got a little nursery area here. This is my jobs that need doing, foxgloves that need going in. This is blue fescue grass that I've grown from seed, and some herbs, etc. And some lettuce there growing in a container, mint that I've procured from a friend's garden. So much stuff from friends' gardens here. So the sun keeps coming in and out, which is not helping things. My nasturtiums did the job in as much as attracting the bugs and keeping them off the other plants, and so they've been decimated, but they're coming back. And you can see also I've got a thing for Nicotianas. I love the scent at night. It is just amazing. So some beetroot, some leeks growing, and I've also got a thing for sweet peas. Because of the weather we've had, they've really gone over, quite early. So now I'm just letting them go to seed, but the problem is once they've finished, they do look quite straggly, to be honest. Let's turn around and enjoy some better light. So I really like this bed. This is in the shade most of the day. So it's sort of more shade loving plants and bit less affected by drought. And I've even got a little wildlife pond here that's now maturing. I've had to move this bamboo. That's one of those IKEA crates, Knaglig or something. So I just put a bamboo in an IKEA crate, stayed in the crate first obviously, and I'm trying to keep the pond in as much shade as possible because I have a real problem with algae. I've got all the oxygenating plants in there, but I'm having a real problem with algae. Obviously too, I'm having a problem keeping it topped up with the lack of rain because I don't use tap water in my pond. I just use rainwater, so I've got a collection butt at the front of the house, but of course it's empty at the moment. So like I like my pond area, but it's got some little wiggly things in there, but I'm a bit disappointed it's got no frogs. But I think I need to put some holes in my fence. The developer was meant to put hedgehog holes in the fence and they didn't, because it looks good on the sales stuff, but they don't actually do it. Yeah, so I like using quirky things to plant in, so I've got a little basket there. That was a hamper I won at work actually. A courgette is in a dustbin that I've repurposed. That was one of the builders' dustbins I've rescued from the skip when they finished the development and got my courgettes developing there nicely. So I've got 2 plants in there I got from the nursery, and that was they've been really good. I've been really pleased with those. Now my greenhouse with the nasturtiums and the out of control tomatoes. The tomatoes have just gone bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And it's a never ending, look, I've got another shoot here I've got to get rid of. They literally grow like this overnight. And then you can see this one has got it's got these curled up leaves. They're almost dried out. I keep these watered religiously. I mean, I chuck loads of water on these tomatoes. But this one, yeah, it's struggling. So if anyone knows what this is on this tomato, the others seem okay. So yeah, my little my greenhouse is becoming a bit of a no-go zone. It's becoming overgrown by tomatoes. I go in there sort of once a week with secateurs and try and get them under control, but they come back with a vengeance. My green beans, my goodness, look there. My French beans, sorry, my French beans. They're coming on. What was interesting here is that the ones I started off in pots, I had about a 10% success rate with germination, and the ones I sowed directly in the ground just went bonkers, 100%. And the ones that were started off in pots are these here, which are smaller than the ones that I planted about 3 weeks later directly in the ground. So lesson learned there. Got some purple sprouting broccoli here. This is for when the others die back. And as you can see, I've made a frame out of an old tent poles from a tent that I rescued from Tyree Music Festival about 10 years ago when I was clearing up. And yeah, so that's going to have netting over it soon to keep the caterpillars out. Cosmos seeds from my friend Sue that she got free with a magazine. But yeah, and more Nicotianas, because I love Nicotianas. And I was growing onions and garlic here earlier in the season, and I had a real problem with rust. Rust on the garlic, and all the onions just went to seed. So I've let 3 of them just remain, and maybe I'll collect some onion seeds. My strawberries went bonkers. All these strawberries and all those strawberries over there, they were all from one plant that was gifted me last year from my friends Mike and Tracy, and I've had strawberries coming out of my ears this year, so that was amazing. These sweet peas that are finished now, and I've let them go to seed. I've even collected a lot of the seeds, so these can all now be taken up. Father Capani, the seeds were given to me by my friend Jane. I went to school with Jane, and we saw each other for the first time in 35 years last year. And she gifted me those seeds, and the display was amazing, absolutely amazing, and the fragrance, and oh my goodness, I had sweet peas coming out of my ears, and they were brilliant. These are my autumn strawberries, which, like everything, are raspberries, golden raspberries, which are, like everything, coming a bit soon. I think they should be more September, but like blackberries around here, they've matured now. Yum yum yum. Yeah, I know you shouldn't pick and eat off the plant. I should wash it first, shouldn't I? But I haven't died yet. The compost bins that I made that one out of a pallet, and that one's a commercial compost bin. And another crate with a bamboo and some lobelias there. Dog toilet. I must be the only person who can't grow clover. I mean, clover, it's like a weed, and yet I can't seem to grow it. I won't show you too much. There is some clover growing there now, but the main clover there has died. Hello. Sorry. So here we are. This is my beautiful, beautiful garden. As I say, it's a bit of a shame it's gone over. I mean, some of these sweet peas are still hanging in there. These were white, but as they've matured, they've sort of turned pink. And now I'm just waiting. I was harvesting the flowers, but now I'm just waiting for the seed pods to mature so I can save some seed. And then, of course, I can take them up and give the leeks a bit more sun and a bit more room. And yeah, the leeks and the beetroot, my goodness, look at the size of that beetroot. Can you see that? And I've got some young beetroot coming up here. There'll be some interest in the winter. So yeah. So there we go. That's not bad. This garden was, you know, I finished the hard landscaping less than a year ago, and here we are. And bang on cue, the sun's now come out, so I can't take a very good final shot. But yeah, my lovely garden. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that little update and the tour of the garden. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. And if you've been here a while, then thanks for sticking with us. If you don't subscribe yet, please do subscribe. It really helps us out. I hope you enjoyed that little update, folks. If you did, you know what to do. Oi, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't already. It just leaves me to say from Dougal, from Ted, or from a Bramble, and from me, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you wonder about the brambles, it's to keep the cats out the garden. They're lovely cats, but Ted isn't much of a guard dog. When he catches them, he kisses them. Yeah, Ted, you need to work on your technique.